Greetings, my dark folk, and welcome back to The Black Rose. Was Anton LaVey a vampire? That question gets shut down fast, real fast. Usually by people who haven't actually read LaVey's own writings. Most of what people think they know about LaVey and vampires comes from misquotes, hearsay, or confusion between psychic vampires that he talks about in the Satanic Bible, which is nothing more than manipulative individuals, and legitimate vampires. So in this video, we're going to go straight to the source, not rumors, not vampire community dogma, but LaVey's own words, specifically pages 139 to 141 of Chapter 10 in The Secret Life of a Satanist. In the early 1990s edition of The Secret Life of a Satanist, Chapter 10 is titled Life on the Edge of the World. This chapter deals with outsiders, nocturnal types, predatory personalities, and vampires, not metaphorically, explicitly. And what's important is that this is LaVey's writings autobiographically, not symbolically, like in the Satanic Bible. On page 140, LaVey writes, people would like to think of vampires as parasitic. They aren't. True vampires, as opposed to psychic vampires, always have something to offer immortality. That line alone destroys the claim Anton LaVey hated vampires. But here's a clarification that must be made and is almost always ignored by individuals in the vampire community. When LaVey says psychic vampires, he's talking about manipulative, emotionally draining individuals who always complain and wallow in their problems and do nothing to change the issue. This is the same type he criticized in the Satanic Bible. He is not talking about legitimate vampires or side vampires with a life force or energy-based need. Those are two completely different categories, and between the Satanic Bible and Chapter 10 of The Secret Life of a Satanist, it is safe to say that LaVey clearly distinguishes between them. On page 141, LaVey drops something that most people never mention. He states that in the late 1950s and early 1960s, he kept a file on a real modern vampire. Not folklore, not a movie monster, a real person. The book even asks, one wonders if all this speculation comes from his objective research or if LaVey sees vampire tendencies in himself. That's not vampire community projection. That's not my projection. That's in the text. The book then lists several notable parallels between LaVey and vampiric traits: diagnosed photophobia, strong allergic reaction to garlic, peak productivity in a nocturnal pattern, sleeping in a coffin long before it was fashionable, and yes, there are some people in the vampire community who legitimately sleep in coffins, admitted drawing life force from energetic people. Now this last one is crucial. LaVey openly admitted to feeding on energy in the Secret Life of a Satanist. Whether one interprets this literally or metaphorically, it aligns directly with vampiric models, not against them. So, where does the claim come from that LaVey hated vampires? It's really quite simple. People confuse psychic parasites, as mentioned in the Satanic Bible when he talks about psychic vampires, with real vampires. They quote the Satanic Bible without context. They never read The Secret Life of a Satanist. LaVey rejected unconscious feeders, manipulators, emotional leeches. He did not reject conscious predation, selective feeding, vampiric dynamics, and ironically, what he criticized aligns with how many vampire traditions in the vampire community also view unconscious parasites, unconscious feeders in the vampire community. If you do not believe me, read the Sangonomicon by Father Sebastian. He even talks about them in there, but he uses a different word than psychic vampire. So you cannot say I'm wrong there. Within the modern vampire community, many reject LaVey outright. Many repeat the claim that he hated vampires. Yet many accept LaVey's satanic vampires without issue. That contradiction usually comes down to not reading the material or not understanding it if they have read it. If anything, LaVey recognized vampirism before the modern vampire community fully articulated itself. So, was Anton Szandor LaVey a vampire? Well, LaVey would probably reject the label, but based on his own writings, his research, his lifestyle, and his admissions, it's fair to say he understood vampirism far better than many of the people in the modern vampire community who claim he opposed it. And if someone says otherwise, then ask one simple question. Have you actually read pages 139 to 141 of the 1990s edition of The Secret Life of a Satanist? If you've liked this video, please hit the like and subscribe. Until then, wherever you are, have a good day, have a good night.